Shalom Yasharala, giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Oh, man. It's kind of a trying time. Right now, we lost one of the great brothers, Ayala. So it's kind of trying time. I just I'm trying to go over something that would be beneficial for us and our plight in this wicked world that we've been brought into, to be able to make sure that we can know how to operate in these trying times, because as always, I'm going to start with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. That's in the name of the anointed Savior, Mashiach Yahushua. Give me thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So we give all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I want to go into subject matter here, and it's about when to keep your mouth shut and when it's time to don't open up your mouth. It's very important, your words have power. Words that you say have power. Sometimes it's best to, even though you know what you know, not to even say anything, just chill. You gotta know when to chill. So look at Proverbs 14:17. Proverbs 14:17. Proverbs 14:17. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly. Hear that? He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly. In the heat of anger. You got to know when to shut your mouth. You don't open your mouth. But it tells you, he that is soon angry, what they call hot-tempered, dealeth foolishly. Deal foolishly. And a man of wicked devices is hated. Yeah. Proverbs, you're so quick-tempered. Somebody says to you, you're just going off. Quick to go off. When to keep your mouth shut. And don't open your mouth to say anything. Proverbs 18:13. Proverbs 18:13. He that answers a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. That's why you got to know, when you don't have all the facts, then you're not supposed to be opening your mouth, speaking about certain things. It's all about knowing when you'll be quiet and when not to open your mouth to say anything. You don't have the facts, don't say nothing. He that answers a matter, Proverbs 18:13, he that answers a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. See? You don't have all the facts, but yet still you talking about something. That's how rumors get started. By the time somebody else bring forth the rumor, then by the time we go around, it's all messed up. Deuteronomy 17:6. I mean, you haven't verified the story, but yet and still you running your mouth about the story. You don't even know all the facts. So Deuteronomy 17:6. Let's say it's here in the word, giving us the correct instructions. It says, at the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. Hear that? At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses. I mean, 2 people coming forth with the same understanding of what they sing or what happened in a situation. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of 1 witness, he shall not be put to death. See, the hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put the evil away from among you. See? And people will know, hey, I can't do that. I can't do that. Got to put this, this evil away from us. That's why you got to know when to keep your mouth shut. Don't open your mouth to say anything. That's what we're talking about here. He said, if there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which the Most High thy power shall choose. You're going to say, give you a place where the Most High going to choose, right? This is in our law. And thou shalt come unto the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire. And they shall show thee the sentence of judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence. So we went to the priests and the Levites with the matter, and they're gonna bring it before the Most High, and He's gonna show us the judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which the Most High shall choose shall show thee. So He's gonna say, the Most High gonna say, this is where it's going. This is where we're going to bring forth this judgment. You're gonna go right here. And when we went there, He tell you the priest's gonna make the judgment. They're gonna make the judgment call, so that you are gonna abide by their judgment. Because remember, it said whatever place the Most High choose. And thou shalt do according to the sentence, verse 10, which they of that place which the Most High shall choose, again, shall show thee. And thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence. So you can't deviate from this sentence. You got to bring it forth. Which they shall show thee, to the right hand or to the left. You cannot, in your own mind, say, we're going to do it this way. You can't go this way for the betterment of it, or that way for the worst of it. The judgment going to be just what it is. That's what we have to do. We have to follow the judgment. Okay. Okay, we're going to look at if what you're doing could offend a weaker brother. I mean, that's why he say you got to love thy neighbor as thyself. You got to care about your brother. So what you doing, or your words, could offend a weaker brother. 1 Corinthians 8, the 8th chapter. Look at, we're going to start at verse 7. It says, howbeit, This is 1 Corinthians 8:7. Howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge, right? Every man don't know the knowledge of this Bible or the importance of Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahushua in his word. For some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled. So you're looking at some things that we ate was offered to an idol, and then you go in there, I'll give you a perfect example. Think about this. You go into you go into a Chinese restaurant, and they got Buddha. They got Buddha right there. So what did they do before they started their day? For this food offered to Buddha that you can be able to come in there and eat is offered to an idol. Or in the churches, you got Caesar Borgia, that's an idol. Right here, he's an idol right here. That's an idol. Offered to an idol. Offered to an idol. Right here. I mean, that's an idol. These are idols that people believe in. That's their Jesus. And you go after church, you go down there, you have food, and that's who's up on the wall. That's God. That's your God up on the wall or in your mind. You offer it, that food to that idol. When you say in the name of Jesus, what you think you're talking about when he's right there on the wall? Huh? Got this picture on the wall. Got this all on the wall. What you think? That's who you offering this food up to. That's why I say you got someone and their conscience being weak is defiled. You know? Their minds being weak is defiled. So our minds, that's why we destroy for lack of knowledge as a people. You open up the Bible, they really don't understand what the Most High have left here for us. The only thing we have for our salvation is right here. You say, but meat commended us not to the Most High. You know that? For neither if we eat, are we the better? Neither if we eat not, are we the worse? Whether you eat meat, gonna make you better. That's what we're talking about. They sacrifice meat on the altars and all. You know, they don't cook their ham, they honey glazed ham. Most High said, hey, we gonna make our bold in you. Most High is in us. You know, about check up the shines in us. Spirit of the Most High is in us. Right? He said he made man in his own image, right? In his own likeness. So here we are having this mortal body, and you offering up things that are defiled, as the Most High would say, according to the dietary laws. And just looking at that, you know, be talking about meats, you know, say you ain't the worst if you eat if you don't eat. It says, and then you put it in your body. What are you doing? Look, that's why it's very important. Some people think they can take, you can take it lightly all you want to. I showed you in Isaiah 66, chapter 15, verse, you're going to kill those that eat swine and abomination and the mouse. And I showed you footage of a chicken eating a mouse. But to each his own. I know the Most High said this in 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High? Don't you know that your body, our bodies is the temple of the Most High? And that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? You see what he say? Don't you know that the Spirit of the Most High dwells in us? Listen, if any man defile the temple of the Most High, how you defile the temple of the Most High? By putting abominations in your body. You got to think about it. Okay, we require a sign, so let me give you a sign. That's 1 Corinthians 1:22. But the Jews require a sign, right? So let me give you a sign. The Most High of Mashiach is inside of us. And here we are putting the things that eat doo-doo and mice and whatever else you can think of in our bodies, in our mouth, and chewing it up and swallowing it into your spirit. That's why I say, look, Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High? We the Israelites. And that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you. If any man defile the temple, you defile the temple, you defiling your body by eating abominations. If any man defile the temple of the Most High, which is our mortal bodies, him shall the Most High destroy. You hear that? Him shall the Most High destroy. Destroy. He's going to get rid of you. He's going to tear your butt to threads. He said he's going to burn you up. If any man defile the temple of the Most High, 1 Corinthians 3:17, him shall the Most High destroy. For the temple of the Most High is holy. That's why you have to think like this. You really have to think like this. He said he made us in his image. And he said, if you believe in him, he said, we're going to make our abode in you. That's in us. And you bring in abominations like pork and shrimp and crab and lobster and chicken that eat mice and all the things that you could think of that eat anything. Say chicken eat anything. But ask somebody that's from a farm. Pig. All the things that are abomination that the Most High is letting us know in Leviticus 11th chapter. Look up that marsh hen. He said, if any man defile the temple of the Most High, him shall the Most High destroy. For the temple of the Most High is holy. I mean, pure and perfect. Which temple ye are, right? So we're the temple of the Most High. Our bodies is. So now when you go back to 1 Corinthians 8, it says in verse 7 again, howbeit there are not in every man that knowledge, for some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol. Straight up, they know that, like I said, you go into the Chinese place, you go to whatever it is that these Oriental places, you know, what gets me, I'll be like, okay, like Panda Express, they got a bear up there. And I remember one time I was, I had got Taco Bell. This is a long time ago because I don't hardly eat out these different places. But I went to Taco Bell and I was eating a taco. And it was all ground up, I guess ground beef. Then I had my cup and I looked at it, it was a rat on the cup. And I looked at the meat. It just, I don't know, it just turned me off. I couldn't eat anymore of it, you know. And then like Chuck E. Cheese got the little mouse on there. You don't look. The scriptures say never trust thine enemy. I know that much. We all know, you know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you, my doctor told me, he said, look, it was a long time ago. He said, I want you to not eat out for a month. Say, just try it. Say, don't eat out for a month. He said, just try it for a month. And I did. And I felt so much better. That's why I don't like to eat out. He told me, he said, don't eat that processed food. All that processed food is not good for you. Cook your own food and make it yourself. It says, howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge, for some with the conscience of the idol unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol. They know, like I say, that's why you got to bring our conscience to another level. So you start thinking about, okay, well, what did they pray over there? I mean, they want to make the most money they can. So all the gods of the nations are what? Idols. They're not dealing with the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I don't care where you go, hardly. That you going to an Israelite facility. I mean, where you gonna go that they actually gonna actually pray over this food in the name of the anointed Savior about Shema to the glory of the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Think just food for thought. It says, and their conscience being weak is defiled. Yeah, their minds being weak is defiled because they're not really thinking about what it is, and I'm just bringing it to the table. But meat commendeth us not to the Most High, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. You know, you think about it, sacrifices, the priest, we took all the gutted the animal out, and the heart, the bladder, the different organs. That's why we're not supposed to eat organs. They got liver. Our people eat liver. That's wrong. Not supposed to eat no organs at all. And you put that part of the body to the right. The priest would burn that for a sacrifice to the Most High, and we would eat the meat, clean meat that we could eat, lamb and goat and cows and so forth, and sheep. So we could eat those things and sacrifice, to the Most High, and the meat that was clean we could eat afterward. That's what it's talking about. It says, but take heed lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak. See, this liberty of us to do whatever we want to do become a stumbling block to them that are weak. Like people coming in, they don't really know what's going on. They're going to follow just what you say and do as leaders. Or you that's been in, and they think that you definitely know what you're talking about and bringing forth the word of the Most High. This is right, this is wrong. They're going to follow you. Do it, they watching them. That's what we say, they watching them. They weak because they don't know. For if any man see thee with which has knowledge sit at meat in the idol's temple, that's a lot of these churches are idol temples, wouldn't you say? I mean, they're not dealing with the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They ain't dealing with a Mashiach Yahushua. Said, this is who I'm dealing with. This is who I'm telling you I'm dealing with. Point blank. Are they? What religion? What religion can you bring to the table to say, okay, they dealing with the holy days of the Most High? They just went through the Feast of Dedication, Feast of Lights, and they ready for the next new moon, the new moon feast and all that, the things that we as Israelites, as the Most High said, these are my feasts. This is my Sabbath day. Before he even tell us about the feast, the seventh day of the week, every 7 days is Sabbath. Are they following these things? You gotta look at this and really, ask the question. For if any man see thee, which has knowledge, those that are the leaders sit at meat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him which is weak be embroidered to eat those things which are offered to idols? Yeah. You hear me talking about, the idols that they have. We go, you got Buddha, you see it right in the window, big old Buddha. And you see it, then you see me up in there. Come on, we're going to go get something to eat. And we go right up there where the Buddha is. Then offered all this food. They cook it to Buddha for their good success for that day. And here you see me up there, invite you in there to eat all this stuff or abomination, whatever. But you don't know what it is. Really? You ever seen any meat trucks in abundance? Semi trucks come to those restaurants? No. But if somebody's weak, they come in, they're going to do the same thing. They say, oh, this is what we can do. They're going to follow the same suit. And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish, for whom Hamashiach died. Through your knowledge, your wicked butt, showing the brother that this the right way, when it's the wrong way, it's very important to know. Because you're going to be held accountable. That's why I say you got to know these things. This is all about when to keep your mouth shut. Don't open your mouth, say nothing. But if they follow you, just say, hey, and through that knowledge, and the knowledge is not right, shall the weak brother perish? For whom am I shall die for? But I ain't following you. So you gotta be on point. Or keep your mouth shut. Don't say nothing. But when you sin so against the brethren and wound their weak conscience, you sin against the brother, you wound their weak conscience, you sin against a Mashiach. That's deep. That's why you got to know what you know and do what you know. That's righteous in the eyes of the Most High. But some people don't know that they don't know that they don't know about that one. Hear what I said? Some people don't know that they don't know that they don't know. Well, listen, wherefore, if meat make my brother to offend, I will eat no flesh while the world standeth. See, if it's going to bother him, I ain't going to eat none. Lest I make my brother to offend. That's deep. See, I'm not going to eat none. Lest I make my brother to offend. Offend my brother. And shalom to everybody. Open up their minds to be able to hear this lesson. Welcome. We're dealing with when to keep your mouth shut and don't open your mouth. Let's look at Numbers 35 and 30. Numbers 35 and 30. We're going to be into a lot of King Solomon's wisdom today. Numbers 35 and 30. Hope everyone's having a beautiful Sabbath, or if I have had a beautiful Sabbath. It says, whoso killeth any person, murderer, shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. Say, whoso killeth any person, the murderer, shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. This was our law. It is our law. When we could, actually operate in our law. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. Not just one, but witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. See? So from there, we're going to one witness can't, like I said, one witness can't cause a person to die. Couldn't cause a person to die. Proverbs 19 and 5. Proverbs 19 and 5. You see how off this world is? They call the police. You got those, what they call them, Karens and Tims or Ken, whatever their name is, that they say right now. They call it on us. One person. You see how off the law? I mean, they not following the law here. Where's the other witness? Okay, you said this, but where's your witnesses at to prove what you said is wrong? All right. Because they probably gonna say, no, she's off or he's off. But all you gotta do is just pick up the phone and say something. Next thing you know, you caught in the web of the system. How many have been put to death behind that? That's why I say they're not following the law. Proverbs 19 and 5. A false witness shall not be unpunished. You know? A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. Say, it's real. You telling lies on someone? That's why you gotta have facts. A false witness shall not be unpunished, he said. And he that speaketh lies shall not escape. Now we know, we can go back to the 10 Commandments. That's in Exodus, the 20th chapter. Let's go there and look at what the Most High says within the 10 Commandments. Exodus 20:16. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Hear that? Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. You're not supposed to lie on your brother. Who's your neighbor? Like you say, that's anyone. First and foremost, this is for us, the 12 tribes of Israel. The whole Bible is. Go to Leviticus. Leviticus, the 19th chapter. We're going to read verse 1 and 2. It says, and the Most High, who was the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, ye shall be holy, for I, the Most High, your power, am holy. You see? So he's telling us to be holy, pure and true, and righteous. So we're here to see who the neighbors is. Jump to verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. So you ain't supposed to hate your brother in your heart. Your heart is the mind. Let's prove that. Hold that. Mark 7:21. So you see the heart a lot, because the heart just pumps, blood into your to our organs. That's it. Two parts of our bodies, you see. So let's see what this heart is talking about. Mark 7:21. For from within, out of the heart of men, that's that heart right there, out of the heart of men proceed what? Evil thoughts, you see. So the heart represents the way you think. For from within, this is Mark 7:21. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, you see. So now going back to Leviticus 19:17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, in your mind. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him, of your brother or your sister as an Israelite. Thou shalt not avenge. You're supposed to be sitting around, oh, I'm gonna get them, I'm gonna get them. No, Most High gonna get them. If you in the spirit, the Most High gonna take care of business. Believe this. He got his angels right here on this earth waiting for the commandment of the Most High for vengeance. Say, thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, of your people, the 12 tribes of Israel. But thou shalt love thy neighbor, who is an Israelite. That's who it's talking to. That's why I went to verse 1 and 2. Love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Most High. See? So that's very important that we see this. Let's go back to Numbers 35 and 30. Numbers 35 and 30. Numbers 35 and 30. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. Got to be witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die, right? So look at also, go to the book of 1 John, 3rd chapter. 1 John, the 3rd chapter, and look at verse 15. This is, look who also is a murderer. Say, whosoever hateth his brother is a what? Murderer. You hear that? You hate your brother, you a murderer. And you know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him. See? You hate your brother, you got a grudge, you hating on your brother, you like a murderer to the Most High. You know what he said? And we know that no murderer have eternal life abiding in him. That's real simple. You either love your brother or you're a murderer because you hate him. It's cold, but it's real. That's why you got to know when to keep your mouth shut. Don't say nothing. Don't open your mouth. It's real. Because, you know, we as a people, man, we bicker too much about. We got, you know, I look at all the grudges that we have against each other. Don't be about nothing, really. I mean, look at what the Mashiach Shah said in Matthew 5:21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time. Anything that was said of old time, he's talking about what he had to go by. The only thing he had to go by, and that's the law and the prophets, the Old Testament. He didn't have Revelations. He ain't have any books of Peter and James or Paul, none of them writings. He only had the law and the prophets when he walked the earth. So he said, Matthew 5:21, ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill, right? Which means murder. And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause, you know, you angry with your brother without a cause, shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakha, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. I mean, I think about a lot of things that, at least, you know, knowing what the word says and how we as a people, we call, hey, fool. Hey, what's up, fool? He said you're going to be in danger of the hellfire. He said, therefore, this is when you pray. You get ready to pray. He said, therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, you get ready to pray to the Most High. And there you remember that thy brother has ought against thee. Somebody got a problem with you. Not you have a problem with them, but do you remember that they got a problem with you? It says, leave there thy gift before the altar and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. Then come and pray. You see? I'm telling you, you know somebody got out against you, go deal with them. What's up, man? Come on, let's try and mend this. So we come back to the love, the charity. Ain't nothing more powerful than charity. A lot of things, you know, we look at, we have too much of an attitude and not realizing. Look at 1 Corinthians 13:13. This is how serious this is. And now abide faith, hope, charity. These three. But the greatest of these More than faith and hope is what? Charity. That's love. Love. Because you got to understand, Romans 9:13 says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved. As it is written where? In Malachi 1 down. That's why you read the New Testament, you got to understand, like he said, you have heard it have been said of them of old. That's the old, that's all he had to go by. Is the law and the prophets, the Old Testament. That's why it says, as it is written, it has been said. Where? In the Old Testament. That's all he had to go by. That's it. That's why it's very important that, as you just heard, say charity. Above everything is charity. Numbers 5:29. Numbers 5:29. This is the law. That's 35:29. Salakia. Well, that's a good one. But it tells you about the law of jealousy. Let's go there, since I called it. Numbers 5. Let's see. This is a situation where a man is jealous of his wife and think that she's been defiled or she went out and slept with someone. Numbers 5:12. It says, speak unto the children of Israel and say to them, if any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, right? She go aside and commit a trespass against her husband, and a man lie with her carnally. So that's committing adultery. And to be hid from the eyes of her husband, she do it in secret and be kept closed, and she be defiled. You see that? The woman's defiled if she go and lay with another man when she's married to a man. And there be no witness against her. Nobody's seen her. Remember, she's doing this in secret. Neither she be taken with the matter, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him. See, it's a spirit. These are spirits. Like she got spirits in you. The spirit of jealousy come upon this man, her husband, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. You hear it keep saying it. Most I speak once, J twice. She be defiled. She go and lay with another man. She gonna stink. Listen. Or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled. So you can have jealousy over his woman. Some men are like that. They really jealous. Woman can't do nothing. Spirit of jealousy on them. And she be not defiled. She ain't laid with no one. But that spirit of jealousy come upon her. Then shall a man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her an offering for her. The 10th part of an ephah of barley meal, he shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon. For it is an offering of jealousy. This is a certain mixture that he made for offer of jealousy. An offering of memorial, bringing the iniquity to remembrance, wickedness to remembrance. Iniquity means wickedness. So, and the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Most High, and the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle, the priest shall take and put it into the water. He's going to be making this mixture, jealousy offering. And the priest shall set the woman before the Most High and uncover the woman's head. See, that their hair is covered, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causes the curse. See that? So the priest will have in his hand the bitter water that causes the curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causes the curse. So she got some in her hand, he got some in his hand. And that water he have in his hand says bitter water that causes the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband, you committed adultery against your husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing. And the priest shall say unto the woman, the Most High make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when the Most High does make thy thigh to rot and thy belly to swell. So you let you know your thigh gonna rot. I mean, her private gonna rot. It's gonna be stanky. Gonna get funky, filthy, McNasty. Yeah, stanky. And thy belly shall swell. Stomach gonna get big. And this water causes the curse shall go into thy bowels to make thy belly to swell and thy thigh to rot. Ugh. And the woman shall say, I'm not saying that. And the priest shall write, and the reason why I say because that's Egyptian God that they put in there certain places. You say everything you say to the Most High, that you end up with his thing. And the priest shall write these curses in a book. So he's recording it. He's writing these curses in the book. And he shall blot them out with the bitter water. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causes the curse. And the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. So she's drinking this water. And this is if she lay with another man or she didn't. She might be innocent. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand. Remember, he's gonna take her. Remember, she had something in her hand. He have something in his hand. She gonna drink what he gonna give her to drink, and shall wave the offering before the Most High and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take an handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar. And afterwards shall cause the woman to drink the water. You gotta drink the water. And when he have made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled, meaning she just went off and slept with another man and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot. She's gonna start stinking. The belly, stomach gonna get big, and her thigh shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. Everybody gonna know about it. Remember, he writing it in the book. And if the woman be not defiled, so what if she didn't sleep with another man? So she's not defiled. That's why I said, we look at that. This goes right along where we go. Keep your mouth shut. Know when to shut up. He should have shut up and left that alone. But nah. And if she be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free and shall conceive seed. So if she did that, it's going to defile her womb. But if not, she shall be clean and shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousies. When a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband and is defiled, or when the spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before the Most High, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law. Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. It's what happens to him for lying on her? All it says is, then shall a man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. To show you how it's written. You know, y'all women probably say, oh, what's supposed to happen to him? He lied on me. And I didn't. And, you know, you got to look at what they probably went through before they came to the priest. And arguing and going back and forth, be accusing her. And she's innocent. Or she could be guilty. But if she's innocent, see, he didn't say anything pertaining to what happened to the man. Let's go to Numbers 35 and 29. Numbers 35 and 29. So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations in all your dwellings. You see, these statutes that the Most High gave us supposed to be with us everywhere we go. We don't have that power now because we just coming back to knowledge and understanding of knowing how to read. Let's more than thinking that we got it all. See, we know in part and prophesy in part. We're getting it little by little by little. But hallelujah to the Most High that we're able to, you know, have what we have to be able to reach eternal life, everlasting life. But we got to know how to operate. Look at Deuteronomy, the 17th chapter. Deuteronomy 17 and 6. You see, as you can see, our life was a little different than what you see, especially today. When you go over these laws, you start going through these laws, Deuteronomy 17 and 6. At the mouth of two witnesses or three witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of one witness, he shall not be put to death. See? So it say the hands of the witnesses shall be the first upon him to put him to death. And afterward, the hands of all the people. So the ones that were the witnesses of whatever they did, whatever crime they did, it says, should be the first to put him to death. And afterward, the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put the evil, hear that? Thou shalt put the evil away from among you. See? That's what's important. Look at Exodus 23 and 1. Exodus 23 and 1. This is how we got, because, you know, when you see these things happening, what you think? Like the Most High, he get our attention with death. I did a lesson on that. You should look it up. Thaahwam, it was called the Most High gets our attention through death. Just type that in. The Most High gets our attention through death. You know. Exodus 23 and 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report, but put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Hear that? See, thou shalt not raise a false report, meaning you're supposed to be conjuring up no lies against someone. Like you see that, Karens and whatever their name is, they call the man what, Kims. Hey, they over here doing this, and help me, save me, help me. This is a black man. It's about to kill me. Oh, he ain't doing nothing but looking at her, shaking his head. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Or, you know, you got those of our people that'll lie on you. Tell a lie. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Say, don't put your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness, to lie with them. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. You see? Come on, we're gonna go do this. And you know it's evil. You see it's evil over there. You're gonna, like I say, our people love to run to evil though. They look at it, it's on right now. You ain't gotta run to it, you run to it on your phone, on your tablet, on the internet, on your laptop or your computer. Just look at it. Oh, that's evil. Oh, you get enthused with that. You get caught up in it. That's why he telling you, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, like World Star. They be doing some crazy things, boy. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to defile in a cause to decline after many, to wrest judgment, man, to make the wrong judgment. Look at from there, look at 1 Corinthians 8th chapter. No, we're gonna look at 1 Peter. So like 1 Peter's 2 and 21. 1 Peter's 2 and 21. You got to know when to speak, when not to speak. And when to just shut up. 1 Peter's the 2nd chapter. Verse 21 to 23. 1 Peter's 2 and 21. For even here too were ye called, because Mashiach also suffered for us. Let me read this, because it's very, very important that a lot of times we have to, in counsel, we have to go to dealing with this so you understand certain things that how the Most High deals with certain situations, and how he feels about certain situations for us. You know, and this is something that the slave oppressor used in bringing forth his Christianity. In 1 Peter's 2 and 18. It says, servants, be subject to your masters with all fear. Now, this master is not talking about no oppressing slave oppressor. It's talking about the teachers that's teaching this word. Servants, be subject to your masters or your teachers with all fear. Not only to the good and gentle, but we ain't talking about, damn, it's talking what ain't no good and gentle slave master, slave oppressor. It's talking about us, the teachers. Not only because you got some that's gonna be good and some gonna be gentle, but also to the forward. Some gonna be hardcore. The forward, but the Most High, he don't like the forward, but he'll use the forward person to check you. But he hate the forward, but he'll use them to check you. It says, "For this is thankworthy if a man for conscience toward the Most High endure grief." You endure grief, how? Suffering wrongfully. And the only way you understand, like we're talking about, when to keep your mouth shut. Don't open your mouth to say nothing. So when you look at this, say, "For this is thankworthy if a man for conscience toward the Most High endure grief." So the way you're going to do this grief, somebody going to say something against you. Some accusation going to come against you. So you endure grief, suffering wrongfully. Suffering wrongfully, meaning you didn't do anything wrong, but you still enduring grief behind some accusation. Just like we just went over about the jealousy issue, So how you think she felt? The woman felt he's jealous of her, telling her she done lay with a man and she didn't. You see? So she's suffering wrongfully. Or you can suffer wrongfully. Somebody accuse you of something and you're right. This is what it says. But this is thankworthy if a man for conscience toward the Most High endure grief. So it's going to be something that's going to be said where they should have said it. And from that action that's coming from their mouth, speaking them words, it can be hurtful. But this is thankworthy if a man for conscience toward the Most High endure grief. You endure this, suffering wrongfully. For what glory is it if when ye be buffeted, that means you be checked for your faults? That's going to be somebody going to be checking you through their words, checking you because of your error or errors, your thoughts. You take it patiently. See, that deal with a certain type of spirit. You take it patiently. Remember, you can't be quick-tempered. You take it patiently. But if when you do well, I mean, you haven't done anything wrong and suffer for it. You ain't done anything wrong. And yet still you got to go through change. They're going to put you some changes, accusing you of something. You suffer for it. You take it patiently. This is acceptable with the Most High. It's bringing you into a spirit of humility. That's acceptable to the Most High. For even hereunto where you called. You ready for that? I mean, the devil comes out with much wrath, knowing he got a short time. Accuse you of all this, that, the third, whatever. Look how many people been in prison for years and years and years and years, and come to find out they're innocent. Had to suffer wrongfully, man. Even though they was right. You know, they ain't do anything wrong. That's acceptable with the Most High. For even there hereunto were ye called, because the Mashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. And he ain't died for no other nations to call themselves master over us. We broke the Most High's laws. That's why the white man was able to bring us into captivity, slavery, and bondage. Most High shrank our stature in times of our regenerations, that we could go into what it is that he says is going to happen to us, taking us off our land and putting us in captivity and putting us on ships and selling us everywhere, you know. But this has nothing to do with him. This talking about us as a people. Ain't talking about him, but he used it against us in slavery. Masters, you know, servants, be subject to your masters with all fear. See, with all fear. But that's the fear of the Most High, of your teachers, because they have to give account for you, and you got to give account how you deal with treating them. See, it says, verse 21, for even hereunto were ye called, if you take suffering wrongfully patiently. But this is like you said, let me see, because this is becoming a new creature, becoming a new man, a new woman. Well, you're not the same. It's a change. When you say be born again, this is how you be born again. According to knowing what the word says, and you think about it, you say, okay, I can't do that because this is how I'm supposed to change. This is how I'm supposed to operate in this situation, because there's nothing new under the sun. Examples here that people had to go through this. Look at Ecclesiasticus 2 and 4. It's a great chapter for you, you know, as far as your spirit, to help your spirit to be strong. You know, if you're feeling weak, and read this whole chapter. Go read it slow. Take your time. Go through it. He says, whatsoever is brought upon thee. It's verse 4 of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 2. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. That's a great change. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. And be patient. He was patient again. And deal with time. Might have to take 25 deep breaths until you get this. To calm yourself down. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. You know, somebody accuses you of something and you suffering wrongfully. He said, hey, take it patiently. He said, verse 21 of 1 Peter's 2nd chapter, for even hereunto were ye called, because the Mashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. That we should follow his steps. Who did no sin. He didn't sin. And sin is a transgression of the Most High's laws. Neither was guile, lies found in his mouth. who when he was reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judges righteously, the Most High, which said in Isaiah 53 and 10, said, please the Most High to bruise him, who his own self bear our sins, the 12 tribes of Israel's sins, in his own body, on the tree. I don't know cross, on the tree, that we, being dead to sins, should live unto righteousness, which is keeping the Most High's commandments. By whose stripes you were healed. So he says we should live under righteousness, right? So we got to define what righteousness is. Deuteronomy 6:25. Got to go back to the law, because like I say, that's all they had was the law and the prophets. Deuteronomy 6, and I keep saying this because it'll help you to be able to understand more of the Bible, you know, and especially you're going to be like a Mashiach. He only had the law and the prophets. That's why we go in here. He always said, have you not heard? It has been said, or I said to you, when? Right here. It's Old Testament, through the power of the Most High. So what is righteousness? Deuteronomy 6:25. And it shall be our righteousness if, which is condition, y'all, we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power, as he have commanded us. To be righteous, you got to keep the commandments. That's all. That's what he's saying. So going back to 1 Peter 2:24, who in his own self bear our sins in his own body on the tree, that we, who are the Israelites, I must prove that, being dead to sins, should live unto righteousness. We just define righteousness as keeping of the Most High's commandments. By whose stripes you were healed, right? So, got to go to Acts 5:29 to show you who he died for and who his blood was shed for a remission of sins. Acts 5:29-31. Then Peter and other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. So we're supposed to obey the Most High rather than men. The power of our fathers, who is that? The power of our fathers. You see it there. Who is that? Go to Acts 3:13. It'll tell you who the power of our fathers is. Acts 3:13. The power of Abraham and of Isaac and of Jacob. The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Who's the power of? That's why we're here. The power of our fathers. So he already told you this. So now when you go back to Acts 5:30, it says the power of our fathers. Who is who? The power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. And Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Period. So Abraham had a son named Isaac. Isaac had a son named Jacob. And Jacob became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who we are. Simple as that. Because Abraham had Ishmael before he had Isaac, didn't he? But the Most High didn't choose Ishmael. He chose Isaac. He said, Isaac shall thy seed be called. Isaac had Esau and Jacob. But the Most High chose Jacob. That's why it says the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. You know, the power of our father. And there's something, because when you go back to, let's go back there. Look at that, because that's very important, that even saying that eliminates confusion of who you're talking about when the world says God. Look, it's very important. Exodus 3:15. Verse 14, the angel has identified himself, who represents a Mashiach Yahushua as an angel. But that's another topic. Exodus 3:15. And the Most High through the angels, speaking to Moses from Exodus 3 and 2. And the angel of the Most High appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush, right? That fire is the word of the Most High. So when you look at Exodus 3:15, it says, that's Jeremiah 23:29. Is not my word like a fire, or a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? So Exodus 3:15 says, and the Most High said moreover unto Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, the Most High power of your fathers. See? Same thing that he was said in Acts the 5th chapter, the 30th verse. The Most High power of your fathers. The power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. See? Have sent me unto you. This is my name forever. So you can't go wrong with saying the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, the power of Jacob, or the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, or the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, if they're not of the 12 tribes of Israel, is he their power? No. So it says, and the Most High said, moreover, verse 15 to Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, the power, the Most High power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, have sent me unto you. This is my name forever. Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And this is my memorial unto all generations. Right? So look at verse 16. Go and gather the elders of Israel together. That's every elder of the 12 tribes of Israel. And say unto them, once again, the power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob. Remember, he said, that's my name forever, the memorial to all generations, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen that which is done to you in Egypt, our captivity under the Egyptians. And he came down to redeem us. Let's go back to Acts 5 and 30. Acts 5 and 30. If you need more, we already went to Acts 3:13, seeing the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Maybe you need to hear Amashak Shai declared. Look at Matthew 22, and we'll read 31 and 32. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have you not read? See, have you not read? Where are you going to read it at? Not in the New Testament. You're going to read it in the Old Testament. That's all he had to go by. Have you not read that which was spoken unto you by the Most High, saying, I am the power of Abraham. We just read it. Exodus 3:15 and 16. I am the power of Abraham, and the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. See, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Most High is not the power of the dead, but of the living. Hear that? He ain't the power of the dead. He the power of the living. You got enough to deal with us knuckleheads and stiff-necked and stiff-hearted and minstrel cloth and filthy rag and sodist children as we are. That's enough to deal with. Of us living. And it says it's getting worse and worse. Worse and worse. So let's look at Proverbs 14 and 9. This, if you ever feel tempted to joke about sin, man, better think again. Proverbs 14 and 9. Fools make a mock at sin. You hear that? Fools make a mock at sin. But among the righteous, there is favor. You know, the righteous only the ones that keep the commandments of the Most High. But fools make a mock at sin. So they mock sin, but that's all right. They make fun of, a lot of times you go in this truth, people look at you, in a different way because you're different. You change. You don't eat the same things that they eat. You should be wearing the same clothes. But look at this, Galatians 6 and 7. They think they mocking you, but this is who they mocking. Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived. Don't be fooled. Don't be lied to. The Most High is not mocked, because that's who they mocking, because we're following the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. But fools, they mock sin. You see, they're gonna play, but the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Yep. So that's why I say. Proverbs 14 and 9. Fools make a mock at sin. Fools make a mock at sin. You can't allow fools to if you recognize sin, you don't allow them to mock you. Just repent. But fools make a mock at sin. But among the righteous, there is favor. Because you're learning what's right. When you do what's right, you're going to get favor with the Most High. Think about it. How is it that you think you're going to be blessed and you're doing what's wrong in his eyes? And you can't say, I don't know, because there's no excuse for that. Now, we're in the last days, y'all. You don't know, you better ask somebody. You better ask. Is this right or just wrong? Or go into your word and seek it out. I mean, there's so many ways to be able to find out whatever it is that you want to find out right now. There's no excuse. We don't have no excuse. I mean, we got internet. We got phones that's like a computer. You got everything around you. Be able to research whatever you want to research. Or inquire of the teachers. Proverbs 10 and 23. As I said, we're going to be rolling with King Solomon a lot today. Proverbs 10 and 23. As the whirlwind passes, so is the wicked no more. Hear that? As the whirlwind passes, so are the wicked no more. And you say he gonna bring about a whirlwind, and chariots gonna be spinning, bringing forth the destruction of the Most High. It says, as the whirlwind passes, so is the wicked no more. But the righteous is an everlasting foundation. He made the whole world for the righteous sake. The righteous foundation is like you building a building. I don't care how deep they dig down in the ground. They can put that slab of rock right there, go build it upon that rock. And that's our foundation, man. My second shot is that rock to the glory of the Most High. So we got to do what's right in his eyes. Think about it. Is it right? Is the Most High? How you feel about this? What do we do? That's what the word is. It's giving us, the instructions to our ancestors, what they did, what they say, hey, do this, don't do this. We got the examples here. Next, let's go to Proverbs 8 and 8. You don't say something, the next thing you know, you shame of what you said later. Proverbs 8 and 8. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. You know? All the words of my mouth is in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. To make sure that your words are in righteousness. I mean, you know what you're saying is right. You don't want to say something or bring about an accusation, whatever, and later feel ashamed behind, oh man, I was wrong. You know, that's why it's them thoughts. You think it, then you speak it, then there's action. So sometimes you think it, keep it to yourself. Don't speak it. Most I know your thoughts, though. You know our thoughts, but it's better because we dealing with your words. You know what I mean? When to shut your mouth and don't open your mouth. Don't say nothing. Your words have power. Ecclesiastes 5:2. Ecclesiastes 5:2. You know, some people might say, it don't matter. You make light of the things that the Most High think are holy because it's right here. Before you go there, go to Proverbs 30:5. So we make sure that we understand this as we go through this. Just in case you have gainsayers and trying, you know, always going to find something. Every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield, that's protection unto them that put their trust in him. You see? So every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. So let's go to Ecclesiastes 5th chapter, verse 2. It says, be not rash with your mouth. Don't be so quick to say something. Don't be rash with your mouth, it says. Be not rash with thy mouth. And let not thine heart, which is your mind, the way you think, be hasty or in a hurry to utter anything before the Most High. Because everything that we utter or we say is before the Most High. Believe this. And understand this. Very much so. Say, what do you say? Be not rash with thy mouth. Don't be so quick to say something. A lot of times, you know, you say silence is bliss, man. I mean, but understand this. And let not thine heart, your mind, be hasty to utter anything before the Most High. Why I say before the Most High? Go to Ecclesiastes 23:19. So whatever you say, a lot of times you think, oh, in your mind, sometimes you might forget, oh, the Most High, he ain't hear me. Nobody heard me. And whatever you bring in accusation, whatever you say against someone that could be wrong. You say, look, Ecclesiastes 23:19, understand this. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men. A whole lot of men. They're about how somebody going to look at them. How they going to look at me? How I'm going to be seen by somebody else. Who cares? How somebody looked at you. As long as you trying to do the best you can in righteousness, who cares? Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. You hear that? 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. You think you're doing something in secret? Listen. Be not rash with thy mouth. Ecclesiastes 5:2. Don't be so quick to say something. And let not thine heart, which is your mind, your thoughts, be hasty to utter anything before the Most High. Because he says his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. All your secrets being revealed to the Most High. You're not hid from him. Ecclesiastes 17:15. Ecclesiastes 17:15. Their ways are ever before him and shall not be hid from his eyes. You know, whatever we do is always before the Most High and shall not be hid from his eyes. Jump down to verse 19. Therefore, all their works, all our works, everything that we do are as the sun before him. You know, his eyes are, he said, all our works are like the sun before him, but his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. But everything we do is like the sun before him. So you multiply the sun times 10,000. If thou mayest. He said, therefore all their works are as the sun before him, and his eyes are continually upon their ways. He is always checking us out. That's what he's saying. He's always checking us out, seeing everything we do. Going back to Ecclesiastes 5:2. Be not rash with thy mouth. Don't be so fast to say something. Take your time. Sometimes you got to take a deep breath. Think about it. And let not thine heart, don't let your mind be hasty to utter anything before the Most High. For the Most High is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. Let your words be few. I'm telling you, let your words be few. From there, let's look at Proverbs 17 and 27. Proverbs 17 and 27. You got to think about if what you're saying is going to bring about a wrong impression of what you really mean. Proverbs 17, 27. He that hath knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. You see, he that hath knowledge spareth his words. Speak few words. You ain't got to be mouthing off all the time. What we talk about, when to keep your mouth shut, don't speak at all. Don't open your mouth at all. Don't say nothing. He that have knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Say, you know, you're calm, cool, collected. You know how to just chill. That's our forefather Jacob. Esau was a wild man. Esau was a man of the field. Ishmael was a wild man. But Esau was a man of the world. He everywhere. He always, hey, what about us? What about this? What about this? That's his spirit. Always talking. Always running his mouth. And Israel. That's acting just like he would have you to act. The whole system wants you to be like the system. So if it's contrary to what you're hearing here, you got to change. You have to change. That's what it's all about. Change. We all before the Most High. So you don't want your words that you're saying to give someone a false impression. That's why it says, a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. That's why I get Proverbs 4 and 7. Proverbs 4 and 7. Wisdom, which is proper application of knowledge, how to apply this knowledge in your life, that knowledge be applicable in your life. Wisdom is the principal thing, you hear that? So wisdom, proper application of knowledge, how you apply this knowledge in your life is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. Get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. You see? That's very important. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, I through my studies, I look at, go to Luke 24. Let me share something with you. And we're going to start at verse 44. Luke 24 and 44. And you know, I said, when the Messiah walked the earth, he only had the law and the prophets, right? So look at what it says here. Luke 24 and 44. It says, and he said unto them, which is the Old Testament that they call, so-called. These, when it really scrolls, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses That's the first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis to Deuteronomy. And in the prophets, that's from Joshua all the way to Malachi. And in the Psalms, David wrote the Psalms concerning me. Concerning me. So he's in the Old Testament. But look what he said. He showed himself in the law of Moses, in the law that the Most High gave us, Genesis to Deuteronomy, and in the prophets, from Joshua all the way to Malachi, all the prophets in between, and in the Psalms, is written about him. So once he showed himself in the Old Testament, it says, then opened he their understanding. With all that getting, get understanding. Then opened he their understanding that they might, not assuredly, but that might understand the scriptures. Because they didn't understand the scriptures. That's why it says might understand the scripture. You know, it's written for us today. It's written for us because they didn't have the book of Revelations, you know, because everything pretty much stops all the writings of this Bible in 65 AD and picking up back in 90 to 96 AD. You see? So that's the book of Revelations. So, and I'll give you a prime example to show you that they didn't know. They say they might understand the scriptures. They understood a lot, but they didn't understand certain things that we can now, in these last days, see clearly. Because look what they asked him. He died, rose on the 3rd day, walked the earth for 40 days. They asked him this point in Acts 1 and 6. And when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Mashiach, the kingdom of Israel? Now, we hadn't fulfilled Deuteronomy 28th chapter, verse 15 to 68 at this time. But then you know that the kingdom is coming to Israel, to the Israelites. We got next forever and ever and ever. This is what he said. And he said to them, and you hear this clearly, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons. Like it's not for us to know the times and seasons, which the Father has put in his own power. Hear that? It's in the Most High's hand. He the one know when he's going to bring forth the kingdom to Israel, to the Israelites. Go back to Acts 5 and 30. It says, the power of our fathers, we know it's the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, the power of Jacob, raised up a Mashiach Yahushai, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. Wicked Israelites. Gave him over to the Romans. They beat him first. Then they gave him over to the Romans. And they beat him to a pulp. And what? Him at the most, hold up. The verse 30, the power of our fathers, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. I wish you could learn to say that because it's very important how we identify our power. Because we done went through showing you that he's the power of Abraham, power of Isaac, the power of Jacob. But Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, if these people are not of the 12 tribes of Israel, is he their power? No. So here it is. The power of our fathers, we went to Acts 3 and 13, the power of Abraham, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the power of our fathers. Raised up a Mashiach Yahushai, whom you slew and hanged on a tree, not a cross, hanged on a tree. Sound familiar? Who is it that got hanged on a tree until this day? Us. Him at the Most High exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to who? To Israel, to the Israelites, not to anyone else, and forgiveness of sins. See? We speak those words. You can shout that on the housetop to the whole world. He said in Matthew 15:24. Matthew 15:24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Point blank. They asked him, are you going to restore the kingdom to Israel? So they knew that the kingdom coming back to Israel. That's why he said in John 4:22. Ye worship, you know not what. We know what we worship. For salvation, that's power and authority on this earth is of the Jews, of the Israelites. One more, Matthew 1:21. Matthew 1:21. And she who was married shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh, for he shall save his people from their sins. Who is his people? Hebrews 7:14. So it is evident, it's a fact, that our power, who we talking about, Mashiach Yahushua, sprang out of Judah. And Judah, that's why he says salvation to the Jews. So for Judah. But he calls us all Jews. We all come from the waters of Judah. You read Isaiah 48:1. So he said, hey, he shall save his people from their sins. Hebrews 7:14. For this evidence of fact that our power, Mashiach Yahushua, sprang out of Judah. That's his people. The people that are the 12 tribes of Israel that come from the waters of Judah. Well, let me get that. So, wow, that's the spirit of the Most High. Turn the page and went right to it. Say, hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah. Everything come from the waters, y'all. We even come from waters. Don't a baby be in water? The water of us, baby comes out. Everything comes from water, y'all. From the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of the Most High, and make mention of the Most High power of Israel, but not in truth. Not in truth. What's the truth? Y'all know that by heart. Psalms 119:142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So that's why he said, hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah. So all 12 tribes come from the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of the Most High, and make mention of the power of Israel, but not in truth, not in keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. The power of hosts is his name. Proverbs 14:10. What if there's something that none of your business, ain't got nothing to do with you, but you all in it? Proverbs 14:10. The heart knoweth his own bitterness, and a stranger does not intermeddle with his joy. You see, your mind knoweth his own bitterness. You know, you are bitter in mind, and a stranger does not intermeddle with his joy. You don't meddle with somebody's joy. Intermeddle with somebody's joy. I mean, you just don't even know what you talk about, but you still gonna be trying to bring up some kind of issue. It's a wrong impression, you know. An issue that ain't none of your business. You got nothing to do with you. But you're gonna run your mouth, mocking and doing the things that you feel is all right to say. When it's off, it's off. Look at because something none of your business. Some things you just gotta stay out of. It's none of your business. Let it not be any of your business. Keep your mouth shut. Don't open your mouth about it. Go to the book of Proverbs 4 and 24. Proverbs 4 and 24. It says, put away from thee a froward mouth and perverse lips, put far from thee. Let's look up that word, perverse. Perverse. What does that mean? Perverse. Perverse. Y'all should have your dictionaries ready. I suggest you purchase a Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Perverse. It says deviating from what is considered right or good, stubbornly contrary, obstinately disobedient. Get that? Disobedient. Look up froward. 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 Let's see. Froward. Not easily controlled, willful, contrary. It's going off. Just not easy controlled, just willful, prideful. That's what it means. Just the Most High, he hate a froward person. So he put away from thee a froward mouth. You see? And perverse lips put far from thee. Take it away from you. That's why it's about change. Become that new creature. Be born again. In the eyes of the Most High, who cares about the way somebody look at you? That's why such a man only fears the way the man look at it, the eyes of men. And don't know that the eyes of the Most High 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Beholding everything that we're doing. And everything that you think is in secret. We just read that. Think about the Most High, how he feel about it. So you put man over the Most High? Yep. A lot of people do that. You know, deceitful. In his eyes. And in the eyes of those that know the truth. You see? You know, that's like you don't let yourself be tempted to say a outright lie. Proverbs 16. Proverbs the 16th chapter. I'll say shalom to everyone in the room. Proverbs 16. Hope y'all all right. Proverbs 16 and 27. And it's really important because a lot of times, you know, people have said things that ruin somebody's reputation. Just ruin them. Be lies. Look, an unrighteous man diggeth up evil. Hear that? An unrighteous man diggeth up evil. And in his lips there is as a burning fire. See? He try and find evil or make up evil, lie. Make up lies on you. An unrighteous man diggeth up evil. Look at somebody always, look at this, unrighteous man diggeth up evil. See, they're not in the spirit of how we should be as a people. They're not in that spirit. So I say, a unrighteous man diggeth up evil And in his lips there is as a burning fire. In his lips are as a burning fire, man. He's rolling with Shaitan because he can't do nothing but dig up evil. That's wrong. Look, let me give you an example. Go to Philippians 4:8. This is how you're supposed to be operating. But you have those as they trying to dig up all the evil that they can find. And when the Most High come visit them, it's gonna be something else, boy, because you're gonna have to give account of it. Proverbs 4:8. Listen. Finally, brethren, the grand finale. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, not false, not a lie. First thing it says, whatsoever thing is true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of a good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. You see, this is a change we're supposed to be making. Find something righteous in our brothers and our sisters. But see, you have those that's looking for, I'm not going to deviate from what it says. Proverbs 16:27. An unrighteous man diggeth up evil. You don't have no evil, they're going to make up some evil. He digging for evil. Looking for, let me find this. I got to find some evils. Evil's out there somewhere. Going to try and find evil. An unrighteous man diggeth up evil. And in his lips there is as a burning fire. In his lips like a burning fire, man. Like a dragon. He's speaking fire come out of his mouth. Of evil, though. A forward man soweth strife. Yep. A forward man soweth strife. And a whisperer separateth chief friends. Whispering about this, about someone. Could be lies. Or just telling somebody's business. You're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be telling nobody's business. Shut your mouth up. Man, if the spirit ain't rolling today, I mean, I can't say nothing. I'm turning these pages. It's going right to what I'm saying. All praise the Most High. Ecclesiasticus 19:7. Well, let's read verse 6. He that can rule his tongue, rule what you say. What we talking about? We need to keep your mouth shut and don't say nothing. Don't open your mouth. He that can rule his tongue shall live without strife. Hear that? He that can rule his tongue shall live without strife. But you hear what he said? Proverbs 16:28. A froward man soweth strife. You hear that? A froward man soweth strife. So it said, he that can rule his tongue shall live without strife. And he that hateth babbling shall have less evil. You hate all that babbling. Like I know people, they don't no small talk and just dealing with things that have no merit at all. Ain't talking about nothing spiritual, just all carnal. Babbling or talking about somebody's business. That's why it says, look, verse 7, rehearse. Speaking of that, rehearse not unto another that which is told unto thee, and thou shalt fare never the worse. You're supposed to be telling everything that somebody tell you. You know, you gossiping. That's gossiping. Talebearer says, whether it be friend or foe, friend or enemy. Let you know you get used to doing this, you won't be doing it. Whether it be friend or foe. Talk not of other men's lives. And if thou can without offense, reveal them not. You know, how they doing? Oh, you all right? Things cool. Like we just read Philippians 4:8. Think on those things. For he heard you talk about him. You was talking about him and observed thee, checked you out. And when time cometh, he will hate thee. Hear that? When the time comes, he gonna hate you. If thou hast heard a word, let it die with thee. Man, there's a whole lot of things I'm gonna die with. Hopefully I don't die, but if I do, I gotta die with it. If thou hast heard a word, let it die with thee. Things that people told me they never told anyone. You gotta be there. He said, if thou hast heard a word, let it die with thee. And be bold. You take boldness to be like this. It will not burst thee. Say they don't burst you. Some people, they can't wait to tell somebody's business. No. Say, hey, if thou hast heard a word, let it die with thee. And be bold. It will not burst thee. Hear that? A fool travaileth with a word, as a woman in labor of a child. Like have a woman, when you talk about, you heard something, and it'd be like, just be eating at you. I gotta tell somebody. It's like contractions from a woman. It'd be far apart, and you get closer and closer. You just burning you inside. You just gotta tell somebody. If you get closer and closer and closer, then bam, you'd have told somebody's business. A fool travaileth with a word, as a woman in labor of a child. As an arrow that sticketh in a man's thigh, so is a word within a fool's belly. That's why you're supposed to be telling everybody your business. They want to know if people be nosy. Hey, so hey, that's personal. Simple as that. That's personal. Get you out of that. You know. It said, admonish a friend. It may be he have not done it. And if he have done it, that he do it no more. So you coach your friend, hey, he might not have done it. And if he did do it, then he won't do it no more. Because they asked him, when my shake-up shot, my friend come to me and, and apologize and say, forgive me. He said, 7 times. He said, no, forgive him 70 times 7. That's real hard, huh? That's like 490 times. If you come and say, forgive me, gotta forgive him. Wow. Admonish thy friend. Verse 14, admonish thy friend. It may be he have not said it. And if he have, that he speaketh no more, not again. Admonish a friend, for many times it is a slander. And believe not every tale. Don't believe what everybody tell you. People lie on people just for recognition. There is one that slippeth in his speech. Might say something unexpectedly. There is one that slippeth in his speech, but not from his heart, not from his mind. Something came out, but it wasn't exactly what he meant to say. There is one that slippeth with his speech, in his speech, but not from his heart, not from his mind, and who is he that has not offended with his tongue? Who is it that have not offended in something that they have said? Admonish thy neighbor before you threaten him, and not being angry. You're supposed to be angry going at your neighbor. Give place to the law of the Most High. You see? Give place to the Most High's laws. What do you say? Love thy neighbor as thyself. You ain't want nobody to treat you like that, come at you like that, but you coming at someone in a raw way. Understand this and understand this is very, very important. That we take heed to this, because we all we have, and we only have the time that we have to make it right. Make it right, y'all. That's why it's about knowing when to speak and not to speak. Look at Ecclesiasticus 33 and verse 4. Ecclesiasticus 33 and verse 4. Prepare what to say. You know that? Prepare what to say. I mean, don't be so hasty with your words. Prepare what to say, and so thou shalt be heard, and bind up instruction, and then make answer. You know that? But you got to prepare what to say. And so thou shalt be heard, and bind up instruction, and then make answer. See? Look at Ecclesiasticus 28 and verse 14. Ecclesiasticus 28 and 14. A backbiting tongue have disquieted many and driven them from nation to nation. Strong cities has it pulled down just by the words, and overthrown the houses of great men. A backbiting tongue have cast out virtuous women and deprived them of their labors. Just offness. Just making a virtuous woman, let's say, deprive them of their labor. They virtuous, but when you finish going off into them, they deprived of their labor. That verse let you know that virtuous woman is laboring. Labors, it says. She's doing this, she's doing that, she's doing a lot. She's just sitting around looking beautiful and not doing nothing. Nah. Better read about a virtuous woman in Proverbs. It says, whoso hearkeneth to it shall never find rest. Will never find no rest and never dwell quietly. You ain't gonna have no peace. The stroke of the whip maketh marks in the flesh. Hear that? Stroke of a whip, boom. Hitting that flesh. We know about that. Our ancestors really know about it. We had the strokes of the whip upon our ancestors' bodies to show in pictures. The stroke of the whip maketh marks in the flesh, but the stroke of the tongue breaketh the bones. You know? I mean, you can say things that hurt. I can say breaketh the bones. Can you imagine that? It's like, I don't know if you ever had anything broken before, but I haven't. But at the same time, it's like people that have can really speak on that. Your words is like breaking your bones. Whew. That's deep. But the stroke of the tongue breaketh the bones. That's why the Most High said, look, his word, Hebrews 4 and 12. This, I mean, you can look at it negatively, you can look at it positively, righteously, and spiritually. Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of the Most High, these are the words of the Most High that we're going over today, is quick, fast, and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword. You know, a two-edged sword is cut you this way and cut you that. Whichever way you swing, it's cutting you, right? Sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing of sunder of soul and spirit. So the word of the Most High does this. And raunchy, wicked words or evil words that you speak, you already say, could take a virtuous woman's labor away from her. Or, as it is written, breaketh the bones. Ooh. So listen what it says. Hebrews 4:12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow. That's the marrow, joints and marrow of the bones. And is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Discerner of the thoughts and intents of your mind, the way you think. You know, the Most High said that his eyes are upon everything that we do. Right? And he does what? Go to Amos. Once he hear, once he see, that's what he said he do. Amos 3rd chapter. Amos 3 and 7. So the Most High knows, right? Remember, he see everything. Eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Beholding all the ways of man and the secret things. So when you look at Amos 3 and 7, now he know what's going on. Now Amos 3 and 7 says, surely the Most High power, the power of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Surely the Most High power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. You see? He revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Most High's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So he's going to reveal his secrets to his servants, the prophets. So who are his servants? Servants. To be a prophet, first and foremost. We get understanding through these precepts. So let's look at right to the point, Isaiah 44 and 21. Because it says his servants, who is his servants? Because everybody can think they're a servant. But he say he revealed his secrets to his servants, the prophets. So who are his servants? Isaiah 44 and 21. Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. See? So the prophets have to be Israelites, but we just read. He revealed his secrets to his servants, the prophets. That's why certain things, people think they get away with it, but the Most High reveals certain things to his servants, the prophets. It's not that much that you can really look at. That's what Mashiach Shai said, whatever's done in the dark shall come to the light. Look at Ecclesiasticus 26 and 14. A silent, what was our topic? When to keep your mouth shut and not say nothing. It says a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Most High. And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. It's beautiful. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Most High. And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. So that's very key there, Silent and loving woman is a gift of the Most High. And because, let me show you. It is crazy because knowing these scriptures, you can see how it could be used in another way too. But look at since we was in Ecclesiastes 26, go back to Ecclesiastes 26 and look at verse 27. Ecclesiastes 26 and 27. It said, a loud crying woman and a scold shall be sought out to drive away the enemies. Hear that? I'm going to read it again. A loud cry. This is a loud mouth woman, a loud crying woman, and a scold shall be sought out to drive away the enemies, right? So let's look at Acts. I believe it's the 13th chapter. Go to Acts, the 13th chapter. That loud crying woman. Now, Paul wrote, you can say, most of the New Testament, right? Acts. Let's say Acts 13. Go to Acts 13. So let's see what happened with Paul. Go to Acts and Barnabas. Acts 13 and 46. Acts 13 and 46. Then Paul and Barnabas, remember you're looking at this loud crying woman going to be sought out to drive away the enemy, right? So it says, then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said, it was necessary that the word of the Most High should first have been spoken to you. But seeing ye put it from you and judge yourselves unworthy of everlasting life, lo, we turn to the Gentiles, talking about the other Israelites that are the scattered, that they call the uncircumcised, they call the foreigners, the strangers, and so forth, the dispersed are the Israelites, because everlasting life is not promised to no one but to the Israelites. Remember we said, go back to Acts 5 and 30. The power of our fathers, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, raised up on Mashiach Yahushua, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. Him hath the Most High exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. Period. I mean, when you look at Acts 2:21, Acts 2:21, 22. Acts 2:21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Ba'ashom Mashiach Yahushua shall be saved. What is he saying? Ye men of Israel, not the whole world, not everybody, all nations. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. Mashiach Yahushua of Nazareth, a man approved of the Most High, where? Among you, among the Israelites. Among who? Ye men of Israel. By miracles and wonders and signs which the Most High did by him in the midst of you, the Israelites. Who? Ye men of Israel. As ye yourselves also know. We know because we can read all about it. Read all about it. We done read, Matthew 15:24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Matthew 1:21, we read it. And she shall bring forth a son, and you shall call his name Yahushua, for he shall say, his people from their sins. We just read about whose sins? Israel, a remission of sins. So this is who it's talking to. Going back to Acts 13. This loud crying woman, right? To run out the enemies. It says, for such have the Most High commanded us, saying, I have set thee to be a light of the Gentiles, these other Israelites that scattered in the land of Rome and Corinth and Philippi and Ephesus and so forth and so on, that you read about, that Paul sent letters to when he visited the Israelites. For so have the Most High commanded us, saying, I have set thee to be a light of the Gentiles, that thou shouldest be for salvation unto the ends of the earth. Remember told you in St. John 4:22, ye know not what you worship. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. I'm not sure if I said that out of his own mouth. So it says, and when the Gentiles heard this, they were glad. The Israelites that are in the Gentile state of mind, even today, some of you out there might not even know that you are Israelite, calling yourself a Gentile, grafting in, don't know who you've been grafting in among. You got speaking tongues and be filled with the Holy Ghost and run around the church like a chicken with his head cut off. That's the Holy Ghost. No. That is not, no, when the people receive it, show me in the Bible. Y'all go to Acts the 2nd chapter, y'all don't even honor. I'm talking people that's dealing with this darkness, ignorance, not knowing, just following and regurgitating the things that somebody told you that's off, according to the Bible. You go to Acts 2nd chapter, that's the day of Pentecost, the day of ingathering, the day of weeks, feast of weeks, that we the Israelites, tell you in verse 5, that they were dwelling in Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of all every nation under heaven. So that's the Israelites. If you're not following the holy convocations, how are you that pertain to you? But you just go in there and just look at the word and let somebody just lead you in the wrong way, man. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It says, look, and when the Gentiles or the Israelites heard this, they were glad and glorified the word of the Most High. And as many as were ordained to eternal life believed. You're going to tell me that, prove that the Edomites are ordained to eternal life. Prove that the Ishmaelites, the Hamites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, and all of them are ordained to eternal life. No. And the word of the Most High was published throughout all the region. Had to be published behind all the region because we were scattered among all these nations. That's why you see these different lands that Paul is dealing with. He was able to deal with that because he was hardcore. He was killing anybody that called on by Shabbath in the name of the anointed Savior. So the Most High converted him. So ain't nobody out there worse than that. You know, you say in the name of Jesus, I'll put him to death. I haven't seen that. But that was Paul when his name was Saul. And he was converted. But he had to suffer for by Shabbath namesake. Listen, and verse 49, and the word of the Most High was published throughout all the region. Listen at this. Mark this, because we're looking for that loud crying woman, to run away the enemies. But the Jews stirred up the devout and honorable women, right? Devout and honorable women, and the chief men of the city, and raised persecution against Paul and Barnabas and expelled them out of their coasts. Hope you see this. Ecclesiastes 26 and 27. A loud crying woman and a scold shall be sought out to drive away the enemies. So to them, Paul and Barnabas is the enemy. So they got the honorable women. That's with the Jews stirred up the devout honorable women and the chief men of the city and raised persecution against Paul and Barnabas and expelled them out of their coasts. But they shook off the dust of their feet against them and came into Iconium. So was that righteous or wicked? These loud crying women. That's what they did. And Jews stirred up the devout and honorable women. Them loud crying women and the chief men of the city and raised persecution against Paul and Barnabas and expelled them out of their coasts. But they shook off the dust of their feet. They shook the dust of their feet against them and came into Iconium. The disciples were filled with joy and with the Holy Spirit. But you see that? That's how they used it negatively against them. When they was there bringing the word, they was representing the Most High to the utmost. Proverbs 25 and 28. Proverbs 25 and 28. So like I say, you can use the Bible like people that's contrary to righteousness, they read the Bible backwards. Don't do this, they do it. Do this, they don't do it. Proverbs 25 and 28. He that has no rule over his own spirit, you ain't got no rule over your own spirit, buck wild is like a city that is broken down and without walls, no security. Like anything goes. A man or a woman that cannot rule over their own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls, no security. You just go for whatever, you know. And your words could just, I mean, it could destroy a friendship. Proverbs 13:1. Proverbs 13:1. A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner heareth not rebuke. You know, a wise son heareth his father's instruction. He gonna tell you what's right to do. But a scorner, somebody that's, you know, always complaining about righteousness, heareth not rebuke. They're not gonna hear how they need to be conform or converted to righteousness. They're not gonna hear the right way. You can't tell them nothing, because they are caught up in their own little way. So you can't tell them nothing. They caught up in their own little way of not accepting instruction. They don't fear the Most High. I mean, especially when you look at it's kind of amazing. You can hear all this, and once the book is closed, all of a sudden, your teacher becomes stupid, ignorant, not knowing, and not being able to operate with all it is that you're hearing, and all these, you know, many of lessons and so forth, the topics that we have to cover in dealing with our people. But once the book is closed, now it's like you never had it open to be able to sit there or be there wherever you're listening at this, or any of the brothers that's bringing forth this truth. Like, they never did it. Like, they're ignorant. That's why it's Proverbs 1:7 says, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. A scorner you can't rebuke, you can't instruct them. That's why they call you a fool. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. That's why, my son, hear the instruction of thy father, like we just read, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. See? That's the first commandment of promise. Honor thy father and thy mother. They're gonna tell you what's right. Look out for the best for you. Listen, my son, if sinners, those that don't know the laws of the Most High, not even a Hebrew Israelite in their own mind, so they naturally gonna be sinners. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Don't allow them to entice you to do what's wrong. Because when they're gonna entice you, they're gonna say something when they should keep their mouth shut, like we talking about. But you hear it, you fall for it, you fall for the okie doke, then hey, there's a payment you gotta pay. If they say, come with us, come follow us, let us lay wait for blood. Let's go do this lick. Let's go do something that's gonna be contrary to the laws of the Most High. Well, they might, you gotta watch it, because there's been people that's been caught up like that. They put somebody to death, and they just wanted to ride. And they knew him. They got in the car with him. Next thing you know, they went down right with him in prison. They was there with him. Got to be aware. If they say, come with us, they saying something. They should have said their mouth, but hey, they saying something, and you listen to it. They said, come with us. Let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privately for the innocent without cause. Are they going to try and rob somebody or something? To do something that's against the law. Don't do it. Don't do it. Look at that's why you gotta be thinking spiritually. Don't get caught up in your flesh. It's time to listen. It's time to be quiet. It's time to say something about, no, I'm not dealing with that. No, that's okay. No, thank you. Simple as that. Oh, okay, no, thank you. Proverbs 18 and 21. But you got people it's in this world, man. The Most I say they doing things we ain't supposed to talk about. It so wicked. Listen, Proverbs 18:21. Death, hear this clearly. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Because you think about it. Just what we just read. It's like, hey, come on, let's go over here. Come on with me. And you rolling with them, and they got some scheme up there that they're gonna do. Thinking stupid, thinking they're gonna get away with it. And you get caught up with them as they doing something stupid. That's why I say death and life. You could end up getting killed. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. See, death and life in the power of the tongue. It tell you more people died from the stroke of the tongue than the war. Believe this, man. Tongue is it's something else. To behold. I mean, we have to really, really pay attention to what's being said here. And we operate accordingly. You know, once you see this, then you start to change, you know. And with that change, comes blessings. But if you don't change, you remain the same, then you can receive death. And we definitely don't want that on anyone, right? You don't want that. But then you can, do what's right, operate. Most I say, whatever you take cheerfully and start to operate so that you can see the kingdom that's promised to us. It's already prepared. Kingdom is already prepared. Just a matter of us getting ourselves together and changing, becoming a new creature, being born again in the mind, spirit, and soul. Listen, go to Ecclesiastes 15 in the Apocrypha. And let's start at verse 11. Ecclesiastes 15 and 11. It says, say not thou, it is through the Most High that I fell away. Don't blame it on the Most High. But you saying this. Time to shut up. Be quiet. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing coming out of your mouth. Say not. Don't you say it. He said, it is through the Most High that I fell away. But thou oughtest not to do the things that he hateth. You see that? Thou not to do the things that the Most High hate. Say thou not, he have caused me to err. Don't be saying he caused you to err. A lot of people, they want to blame the Most High for certain things that happen. So don't say that he have caused me to err. For he have no need of a sinful man. Hear that? Don't blame it on the Most High. He say he don't have no need of a sinful man, a man that will not follow the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. The Most High hateth all abominations. Hear that? He hateth all abominations, things that are contrary to his rules and regulations. Y'all know about that. Everybody know about rules and regulations. The Most High hateth all abominations, and they that fear the Most High love it not. Hear that? And the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. So you got this knowledge of the Most High, you ain't gonna love no abomination. It's gonna vex you. He himself made man from the beginning and left him in the hand of his counsel. Hear that? He made man from the beginning and left man in the hand of his counsel. What he had to tell us to do. He told us what? Choose life, eat of the tree of life, or choose death, eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. What do? We ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We chose death over life. He said, eat of the tree of life and live forever. You gotta understand how backwards we are. That's madness, man. Look, all you need is me. Most I say, all you need is me. You don't need death. Hang with me and live forever. Have everlasting life. I gave you the beautifulest land you could think of, the Garden of Eden. Everybody gonna be jealous of you because you above everybody. And we were. But no. We allow the devil to come in and say, you won't surely die. Had the Most High say you should surely die if you eat of me, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you will not surely die. And we did. And now here we are, this condition that we're in now, the last days, still trying to get it together. He himself made man from the beginning and left him in the hand of his counsel. If thou wilt to keep the commandments, do what I say, be obedient to the commandments of the Most High, his rules and regulations, and to perform acceptable faithfulness, believe in him. He hath set fire and water before thee. Stretch forth thine hand unto whether thou wilt. He said fire and water before you. He said set forth thine hand to whichever you want to. Because he said before man is life and death. We done heard this already. Before us is life. That life is everlasting life. We can live forever and ever and ever. Or death. We can be thrown in the lake of fire where the worms never die and the fires never quenched. Because he got a spiritual body for you. Don't think because you die, the Most High got a spiritual body for us. Whether on the right side or the left side. You understand this? It says, before man is life and death, and whether him like it shall be given him. What you like. We chose death. So now, by us keeping his commandments, having faith in him, you know, having the true testimony of my second child, we have opportunity to see everlasting life. You see? We have this opportunity. It's offered to us now. It is not like they taught in the dang on funeral homes. I mean, the churches. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's through this word and understanding. Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little of all topics, because it's a book of life. So it should be able to bring life to you and not death. At this point, you should be wanting life. We're raised and born into death, man. Now it's about operating so we can get this life to live forever and ever and ever. Can't nobody take this away. Only you. for yourself, or me for myself. As an Israelite, it's offered. It's already prepared. Everything's already prepared. We just got to get our minds right, our speech right, our actions right, because everything is before the Most High. And it's been written in the books. Being written in the books. Before man is life and death, and whether him liketh, shall he give it? Shall be given him. What you like? You like death? Okay, I'm gonna give you death. I'm gonna torment you. And I'm gonna make sure worms eat you up, and I'll make sure that fire is never quenched. And once the worms eat you up and the fire's quenched, I'm gonna give you another body. Go keep coming on your spirit over and over again, and you ain't gonna be nothing but say you're a gnashing of teeth, wailing and gnashing of teeth continually. You don't want that. But see, that type of preaching is taken out. Y'all like to hear prosperity preaching, ain't gonna be thrown in the lake of fire and receive what I just received to give to you through the Spirit. Come on now, listen. For the wisdom of the Most High is great. Hear that? The wisdom of the Most High is great, and he is mighty in power, and beholding all things. We didn't read it. His eyes are what? 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Beholding all the ways of man, even seeing the secret things that you think he ain't seeing. Beholding what he said, beholding all things. And his eyes are upon them that fear him. Hear that? His eyes are upon them that fear him. The only entity we're supposed to fear is the Most High. His eyes are upon them that fear him, that think about him. How do he feel? Wow, should I do that? Oh, how does Most High feel about this? That? So you already know. Nobody asks, so you're supposed to already know. So when he come in and he lift his mercy and grace off of us, and now it's about bam, judgment, 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 judgment. We done been through this. It's coming, y'all. It's looking us right in the face. There's vaccines they talking about. First they said it had nothing to do with us. Then they said, oh yeah, we got to get it to the African Americans and the Indian people and just that, a third, us. And we sitting around, okay, we fall in line. What they don't understand is the Most High got his hand. He rules in the kingdom of men. And his eyes are upon them that fear him. Hear that? His eyes are upon them that fear him. And he knoweth every work of man. He know what they're doing. His eyes are upon, because they don't fear the Most. They don't even know the Most High. As it is written, Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7. Salvation is coming to the Israelites. Most High will it be us. They're going to say, we weird ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Everywhere they go is wickedness. That's what you see on this earth right now. It's being accepted. And destruction, destroying everywhere they go. We have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the Most High and the way of Hamashiach Yahushua, they're going to say, we have not known it. They have not known the way of the Most High and Hamashiach Yahushua, understanding what this Bible is talking about. Listen. And his eyes, verse 19, and his eyes are upon them that fear him, and he knoweth every work of man. He hath commanded no man to do wickedly. He ain't commanded no man to do wickedly. You're doing that on your own. Don't blame him. Neither hath he given any man license to sin. But what we do, we just came out of Feast of Dedication. What did we do? The Most High ain't gave us no license, but let's see who will. Go to First Maccabees, first chapter. Most High say he ain't gave nobody, no man, no one, no license to sin. But look who can and who did. And passing laws to do it today. First Maccabees, the first chapter. First verse talk about Alexander the Greek. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. This is Alexander the Greek, who took down the Persian and Mede Empire. And when you read Malachi, that's where we in, the Persian and Mede Empire. Then you get to Matthew, you're in the Roman Empire. So what happened to the Greek Empire? And some of this could be redundant to all you that know, but you have new people that are listening for the first time. So between Malachi in the Persian Mede Empire, we just read that Alexander was the first over Greece. We know in his story and their system of their curriculum of their school system, they teach you about Alexander the Greek taking down who? The Persian and Mede Empire, right? So we just read about that, but it's not in the Bible. It's in here in the Apocrypha, which was 14 books that was in the Bible, the original 1611 Bible. You see, so they took the Apocrypha out, so you can't go from the Persian Mede Empire to the Roman Empire. You got to have the Greek Empire. As he just said, the first over Greece. So let's go to verse 9. Once he died, he reigned from 20 to 32 years old. Verse 9 said, and after his death, after Alexander the Greek death, they all put crowns upon themselves. He had set up 4 generals so that their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth, right? Evils were multiplied in the earth. That's when you go to Job 9:24. It says the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He who was the wicked covered the faces of the judges. If not, where and who is he? The ultimate judge is the Most High. And I showed you over and over again. Open up this Bible, many Bibles that you probably have at your home. The first thing I see, is the Most High now the judge? There it is right there. And it says what? Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. So they saying that this is God. This is God. The white man, so-called white man. Can't deny it. I mean, earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Who a more powerful judge than the Most High? If thou might sayeth. Listen. So it says, because we hear, because Most High don't give nobody no license to sin. But who does? It says, verse 10, and there came out of them, these 4 generals, a wicked root, Antiochus, surname Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome. And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks, so-called white man's first kingdom. He's telling you what year he reigned, right here in the Bible. It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men. Hear that? Wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. Let's go make a contract agreement with these heathen round about us. When Most High told us in Jeremiah 10:2, learn not the way of the heathen. But what they say, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant, a contract agreement with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. Because Most High separated us. But hey, they say since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. But who are they? They get sorrowful. They sorrowful because they wicked. They're not righteous. They wicked. Listen what happened. So it says, so this device to please them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, this wicked king Antiochus Epiphanes, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Hear that? That's who gave us license to sin. Because the heathen, Most High said in Psalms 96:5, for all the gods of the nations are idols. So here we are following them into what? Idolatry. Then certain other people were so forward herein that they went to the king, this wicked king Antiochus Epiphanes, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen, with parentheses, right? So what do we do as the ordinances of the heathen that you think about our people doing right now. Whereupon they built a place of exercise. Don't that sound like these gyms, these gym memberships? Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen. You hear that? According to the customs of the heathen. And also I said in Jeremiah 10:2, learn not the way of the heathen. But what we do? Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen. You know, they would be in them dang old arenas butt naked, wrestling and doing all kind of madness, man. And made themselves uncircumcised. You hear that? You can't uncircumcise yourself, your shoulder from being uncircumcised. That's talking about leaving the laws of the Most High alone, being disobedient to the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You understand this? His rules and regulations. And forsook the holy covenant. See, there it is. And forsook the holy laws. And joined themselves to the heathen and was sold to do mischief. So that's all a lot of y'all out there. You seal yourself to the heathen. You join to them, you're going to do mischief. Without a shadow of a doubt. Proverbs 19 and verse 13. Proverbs 19 and 13. A foolish son is a calamity of his father. A foolish son is a calamity of his father, man. Bring you into heaviness. And the contentions of a wife are a continual dropping. Contentions, a woman that's contentious with you is like a continual dropping. Boop, 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 boop. It's Thaahwam, everyone, into the mix of this lesson that we're dealing with, when to keep your mouth shut and don't open your big mouth. It's gonna be one of them titles. It says, a foolish son is a calamity of his father, and the contentions of a wife are continual dropping. She's always complaining and bickering and never satisfied. It's like a continue. That's torture. You know, that's how they used to torture people. They might still do it. Put you on a gurney and just have a continual drop fall on you. Boop, 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 boop. Or you hear a drops from a leaky faucet. Boop, boop, boop. Can you imagine that? That's what he said. He said that's how the contentions of a wife are a continual dropping, man, an unending irritation, just irritating you continually. Proverbs 24 and 24. Proverbs 24:24. He that saith unto the wicked, thou art righteous. He that saith unto the wicked, you righteous. Thou art righteous. Thou art righteous. Him shall the people curse. Hear that? Nations shall abhor him. Hear that? Nations shall hate him. He that said unto the wicked, thou art righteous. And that's our people. You know they wicked, but you're gonna try to proclaim them to be righteous. You know they wicked as ever. He that said unto the wicked, thou art righteous. Him shall the people curse. See that? You're going to be cursed. Nations shall abhor him. Go hate him. Nations go hate him. But to them that rebuke him shall be delight. So you rebuke the wicked, going to be a delight. And a good blessing shall come upon them. Don't that sound great? And a good blessing shall come upon them. Man. Proverbs 14. And a lot of times, you look at people, they try and bring it back on you when you corrected them and they wicked. Shoot. You look around, you be blessed. They mess up for themselves. And they're getting that curse. That they jacked up. Because you have to, at least I have to give account to the Most High. Not to no man, but to the Most High. Proverbs 14 and 23. In all labor, there is profit. Hear that? In all labor, there is profit. But the talk of the lips, running your mouth, don't know how to shut up, tendeth only to penury. You ain't laboring, you ain't doing nothing. You can run your mouth, whatever. You end up with pennies. You got no money. That's what he's saying. You ain't got no money. Supposed to be working instead of thinking about how you're going to, support yourself, do whatever you're supposed to be doing. And people be running their mouth, man. Then a lot of people that run and talk themselves out of a job. They be trying to find a way to get rid of you because you talk too much. Supposed to be working, but you running your mouth. Get back to work. Get back to work. James, the 3rd chapter. Go to James, the 3rd chapter. The book of James, the 3rd chapter. I have a lesson that I did on the tongues. I suggest, you could just go to Priest Thaahwam on YouTube. That's Thaahwam, and type in the tongue. I believe that's it. I mean, it should come up. Some should come up. So I know I've done a lot of them, different ones. So it should come up. Well, it's late. I'm just about finished. James 3 and 9. James 3 and 9. Therewith bless we the Most High, even the Father, and wherewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of the Most High. Out of the same mouth proceeded blessing and cursing. You see that? Out of the same mouth proceeded blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. It says, does a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water? Sweet water and bitter? Do a fountain bring forth sweet water and bitter? No. Either going to be sweet or it's going to be bitter. Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries? Can a fig tree bring forth olives? I don't think so. Either a vine, figs. So can no fountain either both yield salt water and fresh. You see, it's going to be either or. You say, who is a wise man and endue with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom, humility of wisdom, showing forth his meekness with his wisdom. A wise man endued with knowledge among you. Who is a wise man that's endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of his good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. Let's jump up to verse 5. It says, let's go look at 4. Behold, also the ships, which though they be so great and are driven of fierce winds, like a ship in the ocean, fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whatsoever the governor lists. Just a little thing in a little, just do like that. It's going, big old ship, little thing like turn like that. It makes it, go in any direction that it wants to. That the ones that steering it makes it go. It says, even so, the tongue is a little member. This tongue is a little member. This is great things. The tongue have people be bragging about a whole lot of things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindle from that mouth, them words that you say. Look, hold that. Get Proverbs. We're gonna come back. Proverbs 21 and 23. Proverbs 21 and 23. Y'all all right? Proverbs 21 and 23. Whoso keepeth his mouth, you know how to keep your mouth, and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles. You hear that? You know how to shut your mouth up. Don't open your big mouth to say anything. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles. You hear that? From troubles. A lot of times people say the wrong thing, end up jacked up. Going back to James, 3rd chapter, verse 5. Even so, the tongue is a little member of our body, and boasts great things. Behold, how it's just somehow to, if you cut the tongue out, you can't even speak. You got vocal cords, but you can't speak without the tongue. That's, Most High is awesome. He's powerful, boy. Even so, the tongue is a little member of our body, and boasts great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. Hear that? A world of wickedness. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body. You hear that? The tongue can defile your whole body. What you say. And open up your big mouth at the wrong time and don't know when to be quiet. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body. It depends, like I told you about, those that curse, defile the whole body. Certain things you have to change so that you could be healed. You could be right in the eyes of the Most High, and set on fire the course of nature. And it is set on fire of hell. You hear that? Set yourself up to go to hell. For every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed. It's tamed. And have been tamed of mankind. You hear that? We ain't got control of everything. But the tongue, your words that you say, can no man tame. It is an unruly evil. You hear that? Unruly evil, full of deadly poison. You hear that? That tongue is full of deadly poison. What you say? I was going to say, cut to the marrow of the bone. Wait on the right side or the left side? Like it says, full of deadly poison. That's deep. I mean, it'll kill you. That's why, just for condolences, that you can, have something to understand and not allow yourself to be caught up in this heaviness that can happen with somebody saying something to you. You got to look at Ecclesiasticus, the 30th chapter and 21. You got to let it go. Ecclesiasticus 30 and 21. Say, give not over thy mind to heaviness. Don't give your mind over to heaviness. Always thinking and worrying of. I mean, I stopped worrying longer probably than some of y'all old. Because worry cancels out your faith. How you got faith and you worried? You don't ask the Most High now here you is worried about something that you didn't ask him for. That shows no belief. Listen, give not over thy mind to heaviness. Don't be worrying about things. And afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. That's your mind, the way you think. The gladness of the heart, the gladness of the mind. We went over the heart. The heart is the mind. The gladness of the mind is the life of man. And the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Hear that? So joy gonna prolong your days. Love thine own soul. Love yourself. But don't become conceited and all prideful in loving yourself. Still remain humble. Most High want a broken and contrite spirit. Because remember, the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding everything that we do. That's why he said, love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Comfort your mind. Don't be worrying about nothing. I mean, if you can't do anything until tomorrow, why are you worried about it? Why are you concerned about it? Something you can't do anything about anyway. You work to make it happen. If not, then it ain't gonna happen, right? But you sit there worried about something you can't even control. If you ask the Most High, believe. Oh man, it said, love thine own soul and comfort thy heart, your mind. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow have killed many. Yeah, sorrow have killed many. People have died from a broken heart, being sorrowful. And there is no profit. There ain't no profit therein but death. That's why it says sorrow have killed many. That means they died. Envy and wrath. You envying, what you envying someone for? I never did understand why somebody could envy someone. And they want to get them. I got to get them. Envy and wrath shorten the life. You hear that? Envying someone and thinking about bringing wrath on someone shorten the life. And carefulness, being technical, bringeth age before the time. You old before you looking all old and out of shape, whatever it is you could think of before the time, because you always technical. People like that, they're not in the spirit. It's very important. So I made a step. I gotta bring you here. We about finished right now. Since I said about worrying and all that, make sure I leave you with something that's very, very valuable. And it also is really through the spirit of the Most High. I give him all praise and glory about so much like ever shy, because a lot of it is not prepared, but it is through the spirit of the Most High that you hear what you hear, according to his word. Mark 11 and 22. Since we're talking about when to keep your mouth shut and don't open your big mouth, be quiet, shut up. Mark 11, 22. And the Master answering said unto them, have faith in the Most High. That's what I said. If you worry, you don't have no faith in the Most High. This is what it says. For verily, truly, I say to you, that whosoever shall say, so we talking about your words, say this. Whosoever shall say unto this mountain or this problem, this trouble that I'm dealing with, be thou removed, get away from me. You do not exist. Be thou removed and be thou cast into the sea. That's a mountain being cast into the sea. And shall not doubt. This is very important. Not doubt. He already said, have faith in the Most High. That's your belief. And shall not doubt in his heart, in your mind. You can't doubt in your mind. You can't think that it's not going to happen for what you say it. You got to say it. Just saying the right thing. Shall not doubt in his heart, in his mind, but shall believe. That's that faith in the Most High. But shall believe that those things which he saith, which comes forth out of your mouth, shall come to pass in the future, whether it's poof, right there it happened, or you got to wait for it. That's patience. Those things which he said, these are things that you say, not think, and say think, because most I could have put whatever your thoughts are, but he said, whatever you say shall come to pass. He shall have whatsoever he saith. You hear that? He gonna have whatsoever he said. So don't be talking negative on your own self, especially if you pray. Listen what it says. Therefore I say to you, what things soever you desire, whatever you want, Yasharala. When you pray, he said, believe that you receive them. Believe that you receive them. And ye shall have them. Once again, therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, whatever you desire, whatever you want, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. So you sit up the prayers, and here it is. You see people are negative. Why are you negative? You set up the prayers, you got to believe that you're going to receive what you pray for, and ye shall have them. That's why I say ain't no worrying, no way, shape, or form in this. He said, therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe, that's your faith in the Most High, that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Believe that you receive them, you shall have them. Now it's a condition. And when you stand praying, forgive. It's a condition. You can't be praying with all this odd and problems and hating on this person and hating on this person and envying this person. And say, just told you, envy and wrath shorten the life. So you got all these things to look at and to study and to change. Simple. And when you stand praying, forgive. If you have aught against any, you're supposed to be praying. You have a clear conscience. When you pray, you ain't sit up here angry with no one, because you're supposed to be taking care of all that. And when you stand praying, forgive if you have aught against any, that your Father also, which is in heaven, may forgive you your trespasses. Listen, but that's a condition. Which is another condition, ye do not forgive. You don't forgive, neither will your Father which is in heaven forgive your trespasses. Don't think that he's going to come through for you. He's not going to come through for you. So that's the condition of the battle. I hope that was edifying. Anyone have any questions or last comments? I was pretty much in the lesson. I get a chance to see what everybody was saying. But I thank you all for being here, joining me on this Sabbath. And may the Most High be with you. Like you say, study to show thyself approval to the Most High. And with that, I'm out. Shalom. Oh, no. Tell me it messed me up. Oh, man. Shalom.